Hey everybody, Blue Cloud Andrew here. Just wanted to do a video sort of finishing up the first phase, and I do mean that, the first phase of my Death Guard army. We're not there yet, but you know, again, like I said, once my show closes, which it does next week, I'll be all about it, trying to get this done. I have added some things to the guys. As you can see, there's some oxidation on their armor now, just a little bit. I threw that on there, just some sort of finishing touches to give them a sense of rusting. I've still got just some other colors I want to throw on to sort of give it a sense of kind of, you know, just breaking it up a little bit. I like the aesthetic of the Death Guard. I mean, over the years, the Death Guard aesthetic has really changed from, I would say, the second, third edition Death Guard that really looked like some sort of like World War II Third Reich trench fighters. They didn't even have gauntlets. They had like gloves on. You know, the power armor itself has changed in an aesthetic over the last 30 years. So, and then they moved on to the I want to say 5th edition metal figures that looked to me, I kind of liked them the least. I felt that they were way too close to your standard Space Marine Astartes, your standard loyalist. I didn't think that they had very much character at all. A couple of breaks in their armor, yada, yada, yada. But they didn't even have like 30K armor. You know what I mean? They didn't even have that. They looked like 40K Space Marines with some cracks and crinkles. I liked those the least. And then they got transferred over to Finecast, and that was pretty much it for me. I have some of them. I got like 20 of them laying around somewhere. I'm painting them up. I was like, hey, this is the new fig, so let's run it. Even though I didn't like them as much, I was like, eh, it's still Death Guard, let's run it. I just throw them in with the rest of my force, you know. But I'm really a big fan of the Death Guard aesthetic this go around. Let's move this. Let's turn this guy around a little bit so we can get a little better look at his face. Okay, cool. Their aesthetic works for me, considering that Games Workshop loves to just flip the script and go in a completely different direction if they want to, and that's fun. Now, that being said, am I wrong for being a little disappointed in the first week's release? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, the Codex is the best. It's what you need, you know, and they assume that you probably have a whole bunch of other stuff laying around. As you can see, there's a little Easter egg there of things to come. I've always been a fan of Adeptus Mechanicus. I mean, like, from the minute they reveal the figs, I was like, oh man, those look great. That's interesting. That's the Martian units. All right, those are cool. So I got a bunch of Electro Priests because they were just a bunch of dudes. Seemed like they were totally jacked into like batteries, and I was like, that's nasty. Those dudes are just totally jacked in, and I haven't even finished them yet. I mean, I kind of paused on the project for a while after I sort of did the outlining of the bases and things like that. But yeah, Poxwalkers still, you know, kind of in limbo. I think I've decided officially to go with a yellow undertone and then sort of build up from that yellow. Something pallid and bloody and ugly. Something that I can do fast. The Poxwalkers they're okay figs if you really want to take the time. They're much like the Death Guard. The Death Guard are far more evocative to me. And the Poxwalkers are very new, so they don't have a strong place in my psyche. There's no loyalty to them yet. I understand their purpose. I'm gonna get tons of them, so I got to figure out a way to paint them up really fast and make them look pretty decent. They're not gonna look anything like the Death Guard troops that I'm gonna have a lot of, again, because I'm just really sort of, as I'm reading through the Codex, I might just have a bunch of dudes walking across the field and some tanks behind them, just. And having these bubbles of power from, you know, blocking the guys, and then the turn before I go in for the kill, which I'm going to use some melee-oriented Death Guard. Believe you me, man, some of their melee stuff is nasty. It's like, why would you not bring a whole unit of Plague Marines with bubonic axes? Why not? There's only 5 points. I mean, hell, they're expensive already. They're 19 points already. Give them an extra 5 points. Boom, you're right back at 7th edition prices. 24, something like that. They've always been expensive, but now you can just be like, all right, I'm bringing the bubonic axe. I got +1, strength. I think it has a -1 AP. I mean, it does like 1 damage. I mean, it's just nasty. All of a sudden, they become this force to be reckoned with, because then, you can add powers that allow them to attack first, regardless, or keep other units from attacking first, or something like that. I forgot. I haven't read through the whole codex yet. I've been sort of picking and choosing which chapters I want to read first. Of course, I've read through all the fluff. That's where you start. But Poxwalkers, I think I'm gonna go yellow and just make them really like slabs of like putrid doo-doo. For real. That's really the only way that I can describe it. But that being said, I was really hoping that, at least the Death Guard units would have come out, like, the Plague Marine dudes. If you've got the book, you flipped through the pages a couple of times, you've seen some really interesting combinations. I think a lot of people are concerned about how posable the multi-part plastic kit is, but at this point, man, I don't even care, man. I'm sorry, I just cracked myself up. For real though, at this point, I don't really care. I think this stuff looks great. It's very close to the artwork, which I think that's what Games Workshop is striving to do, is to have their stuff feel more like their artwork. I mean, when you get the book, these dudes, these guys, the Dark Imperium box set, they are featured in almost like 50% of the art of the artwork. Yeah, and I think that's what Games Workshop is trying to do. And it's gonna sting for a lot of modelers early on, but I think they've still left the nuggets within the slip fit models, so that those modelers who can really dig in and find stuff, which I have all faith in that they will, you're going to be seeing insane Nurgle combinations real soon. Dudes are just going to have to step up their game a little bit as far as modeling is concerned, and start, thinking outside of the box. And the best of them out there will do that. So, I think aesthetics have changed a great deal in the processes over the last 30 years of 40K. I mean, the first Plague Marines were just like big fat dudes, one pose, holding a little knife, a plague knife, and a bolter. It was one sculpt that came in packs of 5. Have those two. So I've traveled a long way with the Death Guard, and I think the new look suits them. The Hellbrute fits in absolutely nicely. Interesting enough, it's a part of a Death Guard force, so you can bring the Hellbrute and still, I haven't finished him. I haven't really even painted him up because he wasn't really a priority, but once I read through the book and found out that the Mauler Fiends and the Forge Fiends weren't a part of the force, I was like, oh, well, let me get my Hellbrute rocking and rolling. I love my Hellbrute. They're good. They're just good, just basic nuisance parts of a Chaos force. You always bring the Land Raider, but if you can fit a Hellbrute in the mix, then you're in good shape. But so yeah, I think the release is going to be interesting. They could drag it out until the end of time if they want to, and that's fine. The Death Guard fans, such as myself, will be more than excited about it and more than interested in actually playing the game again, which is odd. I haven't picked up a 40K Codex in a minute. Certainly nothing in 8th edition. I just had no interest. I was like, if there is going to be any Codex I might pick up that might interest me in really getting back into playing the game, it would be the Death Guard Codex, and it sure did. So I'm really excited about what's going to happen coming. I just really wish they get these figures out so I could hit them off, and then we can get this party started, because I've learned a lot when painting these guys over the last 2.5 months or so. So I've learned a lot. So I'm looking forward to what's coming up next. Anyway, Blue, I'm out.